everybody, it's Zazu Siosi, physical therapist, here with your Movement Minute. So today we are going to talk a little bit about what are just some exercises that you can do to try to optimize the muscles that help you breathe and just optimize your breathing. Again, breathing is something that we do about 20,000 times a day, and you want to make sure that that system is working well, because that is how we are able to really get oxygen to all of the tissues in our body that need it, and we're also able to get all of the waste products out of our system as well, and it's really essential to life. So we talked about putting, one hand on your chest, one hand on your tummy, looking at what your body does with shallow breathing, what your body does with deep breathing. We talked about putting your hands up high on your actual rib cage. Again, shallow breathing, deep breathing. Are you getting lateral expansion of the rib cage? Is it not moving very much? And from there, you can start to work with that. Are you more of a belly breather? Are you more of a rib cage, accessory muscle breather? And some of these things can be influenced if you have an underlying respiratory condition. But certainly, some of these things can be optimized whether or not you have a respiratory condition. If you notice that you are more of a, rib cage expander and that you barely move through your tummy, then that's what we need to try to optimize. So something that I want to just take note, of this lower abdominal area or like the belly breathing, is that a lot of times we think about when we expand through our tummy, just through the front portion. And in reality, when you are expanding through, your entire trunk, you're also expanding through kind of like the lower back area. So this is something for you to kind of dive into a little bit more. So if you notice you really don't move through here, through the front, then another kind of self-assessment that would be good to do is to kind of put your hands on your lower back. So kind of if I'm showing you on Steve here, not, behind the pelvis itself, but just like right on top of it, okay? But below the rib cage. So you're going to put your hands back there, and you're going to take shallow breaths, same like we did last week. And you're going to see if anything moves down there. And then you're going to take deep breaths. And you're going to see if anything moves down there. And you should feel a little bit of movement from the soft tissue down through here. And if you don't, then that is, again, another place that you can optimize. So for, the belly breathing in general, you can, to optimize it, if you're more of a rib cage breather, same deal, just similar principles, but just different location. So you can start with your hands on your tummy and really try to kind of push your tummy into your hands during the breath cycle. So when you take a deep breath in, you're expanding the tummy into your hands, okay? And when you exhale, the tummy cinches back in. So same deal with the lower back area. So when you take a deep breath in, good. So when you take a deep breath in, that's when you're trying to kind of fill the space underneath your hands with air. So for the lower part on the back, sometimes if you come forward, you can feel that expansion a little bit better. And the position matters, because if you're all the way back here, if you're super extended, just naturally, you're going to kind of bias the upper chest. Because remember, the diaphragm is that umbrella-shaped muscle that basically provides like the bottom to the rib cage, and it attaches to the spinal column here. So if you take your rib cage back, you're basically stretching out that muscle. And if you take it all the way back, you're putting it in a position that is less optimal for the diaphragm to be most effective. And again, that's why we see people when they're super tired, they're running, they're working out, whatever, they've, just done a sprint, no one really recovers like, unless you're trying to crack your back, right? Usually see people down here breathing with their hands on their knees, bent over, all that good stuff. You're really only more extended when you're trying to kind of stretch out the tension through your abdomen. But as far as breathing goes, if you're trying to catch your breath, you're usually over in a bent over position, because that is actually more of an optimal position for the diaphragm to do its muscle action than when it's overextended, when you're really extending through the spine. So, start with the hands. If that's hard for you, just in a normal sitting position, try bending over and seeing if that helps a little bit. Same deal for the back. Try bending over, see if that helps you be able to kind of fill up underneath your hands with a little bit of air. So you can take, the scarf, same deal, just put it around the lower abdomen, so kind of, again, underneath the rib cage, cinch it in. So when you're inhaling, trying to kind of fill up the belly like a balloon into the scarf. So remember, the scarf isn't going to stretch, so it's providing more resistance. And sometimes muscles need resistance to be able to kind of wake up their ability to contract and relax and move the way that we want them to move, which we a lot of times refer to as motor control. And then you have the stretchy strap. So again, kind of you can put it almost like over your belly button if you want, because that's right in the middle. Here we go, if I can grab it. Okay, so same deal with this. With this, it's going to go with you both ways naturally because it's stretchy. So when you stretch it out, it'll go with you. When you kind of exhale, it'll go with you too. So just a little bit of a different stimulus than the scarf or than your hands. And then if you're down here, you can put one hand in the front and one hand in, one of the, lower back regions on either side of the spine, but above, the pelvis. So remember, like right about here. And you can then feel from front and back what's happening. Is it more in the front? Is it more in the back? And play with that. If it's more in the back than the front, then try feeling the front. If it's more in the front than the back, try filling up the back a little bit more. So again, especially the belly breathing and kind of knowing that the lower back tissue also is supposed to move, those are pushed a little bit more with certain exercise styles. And that's okay, but you should be able to also move through the upper chest and the rib cage, and vice versa. Some people find like belly breathing is really kind of like illogical, which initially, right, as a physical therapist, I'm like, you breathe through your lungs, not through your belly. But it's that whole system. Remember, the diaphragm pushes things down, all the organs and everything down to help expand through the lungs, and then it comes back up as you exhale, as the lungs kind of retract into the anatomical positions. So you're getting that kind of pistoning system. Pelvic floor is also included in that, and so it's important for the entire pistoning system to work well. All right, so that was your movement minute for today. We'll catch you guys next time. Let me know if you have any question. I'd be happy to help.